Trump claims we're bringing all the jobs back and it's going to be the biggest economic boom of all time. And when Democrats are in office, Biden claimed, oh, this is a historic economy and we're doing so much better than other countries. Yeah, so historic. Homelessness went up 18% last year and people are living in storage units.
Me and my baby will live here as long as we need to until we get the shelter that we want. Because we're living here, now we can save up more money to get what we really want.
Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup.
This is Ashley with Status Coup.
On the ground.
In Philadelphia.
Flint, Michigan. East Palestine, Ohio. Please support the leading independent news outlet on the ground.
Covering what the corporate media covers up.
Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup. As President Trump and the Republicans push their big, beautiful bill, also known as the Economic Hunger Games, which is going to slash nearly $1 trillion in Medicaid, in addition to other very, very harmful draconian cuts. There's something a lot of you might not know. We already live in an economic Hunger Games. And now more and more Americans who can't afford rent, can't afford health care, can't afford child care, can barely afford groceries, are resorting to living in storage units. Storage units. Yes, it is not legal to live in storage units. I'm going to play some videos that are truly alarming and sickening, yet not surprising, to show you Americans who are now choosing, basically because they have no choice, to resort to living in storage units, which is not safe. Let's start with this.
I live in a storage unit because it's cheap in comparison to an apartment. Living here is actually really comfortable. I get a lot of things that I need and want to get done here. I can exercise. I can use the bathroom. I can play music anywhere in the unit. It's climate controlled in here, so it's nice and warm. This unit is 24 hours, so I can come here anytime I want, stay here as long as I need to. We can take naps if we need to and go to sleep. So this is our living space. Very, very grateful to have this space. The next goal is to get an RV. The next goal after that, tiny home. And if we want to eat, I just cook right out front. Or we'll just prepare something cold inside of the unit. Sandwiches, a lot of times we make salad. If we want to get power, we use our power bank. They also have power here so we can charge our power bank. Me and my baby will live here as long as we need to until we get the shelter that we want. Because we're living here, now we can save up more money to get what we really want. We're in it for the long haul. Thank you for the support. Thanks for watching.
And by the way, I'm not shaming any of these people. It's horrific that they are left to do this. And by the way, as pointed out in a lot of the comments on these TikTok videos, they're getting kicked out of those storage units because they broadcasted that they were living there, which legally, federal and state law, you're not allowed to live in a storage unit for a lot of reasons, including there's no ventilation, which is obviously unsafe. But these folks are basically left with no other choice but to live in a storage unit. And it's amazing to me just how cheerful and grateful he is, because if you look at that storage unit, it's actually bigger than a lot of studio apartments in major cities, which would be more expensive than the storage unit. I want to show you some other horrifying videos. And if all you got to do is just on TikTok, type in storage unit living. And by the way, there's so many videos that I can't show you because the people who posted them put music on it. So it would be copyrighted on YouTube. But there's such a long archive of videos of people showing that they're living in storage units, adding music to it. It's just beyond belief that this is happening in America, which, you know, Trump claims we're bringing all the jobs back and it's going to be the biggest economic boom of all time. And when Democrats are in office, Biden claimed, oh, this is a historic economy and we're doing so much better than other countries. Yeah, so historic. Homelessness went up 18% last year and people are living in storage units. Next, maybe they'll move to live under the subway with the rats. Let me play another video here.
Y'all think You go to air mattress. I got it. I'm about to set it, see how it turned out. What y'all think? I don't know if the TV gonna be able to. Hey, look. See? So it's the epic fail with the mattress, y'all. So with the air mattress, so I'm gonna have to. I'm sweating in here. It's hot. But yeah, I'm gonna have to give me like a. I'm gonna have to order me like a little mat or something to sleep on the floor.
That was a 5x5 storage unit. Some bathrooms are bigger than that. And by the way, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, this is really unfortunate, but, this is just the least prosperous among us, the most vulnerable among us that are living like this. You might have not seen these numbers from mainstream media, but it is an economic Hunger Games right now in America. Bottom 60% of U.S. households don't make enough money to afford a, quote, minimal quality of life, according to a new analysis, i.e., the bottom 60%, meaning well over half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck or broke. U.S. homelessness hit record highs in 2024. Increasing by 18%, which I've covered homelessness on the ground. It is very hard to accurately calculate homelessness in America. When cities and states do the count, you're basically doing it overnight in the morning, throughout the day, but not every homeless person is literally on the streets or in a tent at that time. A lot of homeless people work. A lot of homeless people are couch surfing, so they're not technically on the streets, but they don't have a home. So I would venture to guess it's more than 18%. I would also wonder, why isn't this all over the news? Maybe because the corporate media doesn't want you to know the real state of the wealthiest country on earth. Wealthy for who? A U.S. household now needs to earn $114,000 annually to afford a medium-priced home. Medium-priced home. That's up 70% from $67,000 just 6 years ago per Realtor.com. And we're told by Trump and other buffoons, grifters, that the economy's going to be roaring, or on the other side, when Democrats are in power, that we have the best economy in the world. All of this is theater. And the Democrats, as you get these headlines, Democrats are, trying to figure out how to talk to young men again. And they're spending $20 million to come up with messaging to young men and figure out how to reach them through video games and podcasts. Maybe the problem isn't the messaging. Maybe the problem is young men and young women and middle-aged men and middle-aged women and older men and older women. Hey, everybody is kind of just treading water, kind of just battling for the crumbs, kind of just living in an economic Hunger Games. And how could they not be? This has been the U.S. economy for the last 40 years. This is not a new thing. The media has just hid it from you. They have gaslit you to think that the U.S. economy is some roaring engine and the envy of the world. No, it's not. This is the economy of the last 50 years. That's where all the money's going. And it's getting worse. It's a grand bank robbery. The media wants to talk about the corruption under Trump, and there's plenty to talk about. But this corruption has been going on behind the scenes in the comfy confines of the back rooms with the cigars and top hats for 50 years for the U.S. compared to other European countries. That's the inequality. That's our economy, and that's what they don't want to tell you. And that's what should be covered. That's what the media should be all over, because that is a crisis. Absolute crisis. Sometimes I'm out of words. It's just like you're screaming into a cave. I know you, the audience, know all this. I want to show you some more here. This is an individual talking about why they are living in a storage unit. And honestly, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Let's take a listen.
I'm homeless by choice because I got tired of spending all my money on rent and I need to save some money. If you're new here, I keep most of my stuff at this storage unit, but I also have an office where I have access to Wi-Fi, a refrigerator, and pretty much everything else I need 24/7. I have 2 jobs and I also sleep at work, so that definitely helps. Keep in mind, the office and work are 2 different places. Now, I am really active in my comments, and I noticed that a lot of moms were saying if they didn't have kids, they would be doing the same thing. And I definitely understand. For years, I just felt like it had to be a better way. I did not want to work, go home, take care of the kids, barely sleep, and still have to pay all these bills. My kids are older, so it worked out to where I was finally able to put myself in a situation. So although I sleep at work, I rented this office because I just don't want to be in one spot all day. We have offices starting at $300, so it's nowhere near as much as I would be paying for rent. Whenever I do come here, I have 24-hour access. I can use the bathroom. We have a microwave, refrigerator, Wi-Fi, and everything else I need.
But there's also the problem of how do you get away with it? And I'm not blaming these folks. I'm not blaming them at all. But it's not legal to live in a storage unit for safety reasons. And people do get caught. I'll show you just one example here. This is somebody, understandably, living in a storage unit who got caught.
Yo, you good in there? Yeah, I'm just moving things around. What you mean moving things around? Yo, can't be sleeping in here, bro. It's a storage facility.
Bro, you're disturbing my workplace.
Nah, bro, you can't sleep here, bro.
We will stay on the ongoing economic Hunger Games. We will continue covering, while honestly, the mainstream media and most independent media cover nonsense, bullshit, infotainment, conflict, food fights between YouTube hosts. We're going to stay on what's important. We literally have an economic Hunger Games, a new Gilded Age, and it's only going to get worse as the government unleashes AI to replace your jobs and essentially throw you into the storage unit. Support Status Coup for as low as $5 a month. StatusCoup.com/join. Support our independent, on-the-ground reporting.